Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. Have you ever had a model build that just would not cooperate? One, where you experience multiple seemingly random problems, either with the paint or the construction of the kit, or mishandling of the kit that resulted in broken parts that set you back on the timeline. If so, you are not alone. Earlier this year, I completed my most problematic build that I have ever encountered. Ironically, the kit itself is an excellent kit. None of the problems that I had during the build were kit related. This video is kind of a comedy of errors, and we'll take a look at the different problems that I encountered during this problem-filled build. The specific kit that we'll be looking at today is Hasegawa's beautiful 1/48 scale Nakajima C6N1 Carrier Reconnaissance Plane. This is Hasegawa kit number JT84. When I initially purchased this kit, I was very excited about this build, and I immediately started in on the kit. My self-inflicted problems started in step 1 of construction. Step 1 focuses on the interior of the aircraft. For the interior color on this kit, the instructions have you mixing two colors in a 1-to-1 ratio, and that is cockpit color Mitsubishi and cockpit color Nakajima. Since I had no idea at the time what those colors were, I decided to paint the aircraft interior in Eduard. That's a blue-green metallic paint that was used by the Japanese Navy to paint the inside of the engine cowls and the inside of the wheel wells on a lot of their aircraft. It actually helped protect the aluminum and prevent corrosion on the inside of the aircraft. After the first application of the Eduard on some of the interior parts, I actually dropped the bottle and it broke. It got paint all over my workshop. And shortly thereafter, I realized I had not painted all of the interior parts that I needed to paint in this color. I went ahead and I got a new bottle of the paint, and I continued work on detailing all of the interior parts. I used a homemade panel line wash on the interior of this kit, and what I didn't realize is that I had too much dish soap in the mix. And when I went to glue the interior parts of the kit together, the glue I used reacted very poorly with the paint and the wash, and as a consequence, my interior kept falling apart. The glue essentially didn't stick. At this point, I put the kit back on the shelf, and I proceeded on to some other projects. About 6 months later, I pulled the kit back out and determined once again to finish it. I switched to white glue and glued all the interior bits, and I was able to close the fuselage around the interior and build up the rest of the airframe. Once the airframe was built up, I learned that the Eduard was the wrong color for the interior of the aircraft. The color that I should have used is an interior green that is very close to US interior green. Since it was too late to repaint the interior, I decided to just live with it, but hopefully you can learn from my mistake. At this time, I added the cockpit transparencies to the aircraft. Since the C6N1 has an expansive greenhouse with lots of panels on it, I decided to order some masks for the transparencies. I purchased some masks from Montex, and I went through the process of masking off all of the windows on the kit. Unfortunately, the Montex mask did not perform well at all. They were continually lifting around the edges, and especially where they went around any kind of curves in the plastic. And I pretty quickly realized that even though I had masked the canopy off, I could not airbrush the model without getting overspray all over the clear panels of the cockpit transparencies. Out of frustration, the kit went back in the box and back on the shelf for probably another year. During that time, I found a set of the Eduard canopy masks. They were on sale, so I purchased those. When those came in, I was once again motivated to finish the kit, so I got it out. I pulled all of the old Montex masks off. I cleaned off any overspray that had gotten on the framing so far, and I proceeded to remask the canopy section with the Eduard masks. As I was getting ready to paint the kit, I accidentally dropped it. It hit the concrete floor in my basement. The canopy popped off. It also broke a wing root seam. And at this point, I was really feeling like this build was cursed. Like this thing would just never finish, and like it was fighting me every single step of the way. Again, none of the problems that I experienced up to this point had been kit-induced. They had all been problems on my end. At this point, I repaired the wing root seam, and I carefully reattached the cockpit canopy. I was able to airbrush the color coats on the model without any additional incidents, and the rest of the painting and weathering session went very well. Given all the technical difficulties and accidents that happened during the construction phase of this kit, I'm really pleased with the way that it turned out. This kit looks great on the shelf. The engineering of the kit and the fit of the kit was great, and all of the issues that I had were self-induced. I'm very happy that I didn't just pitch the kit during one of my moments of frustration with it, and looking at the finished kit on the shelf, there is no indication of the many problems that I had during construction. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you out there have ever had a build that just seemed to fight you at every turn, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.